Okay, I'm going to start over because I was talking way too much. Somebody pointed out I hadn't made a video in a while, so I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it while I'm driving, so sorry about that. I was thinking this morning that, I had to get up at 6 o'clock, go to work. I haven't been working shifts very much, but I agreed to work, a few hours, and I was kind of pissed off that nobody was there to make me breakfast. And I'm going to walk my dog later, and I'll do it by myself, and I'll go to the gym, and I'm doing that by myself, and, I want my boyfriend back. And I'm wondering, do I want him back for purely selfish reasons, right? It seems like every single person that I know right now is suffering from a broken heart. Okay, me, the young lady that's staying with me, my sister, my daughter's best friend, her boyfriend cheated on her, and she's just devastated over the whole thing. It's been months now, and she's still very, very emotionally distraught over this whole issue. And I find that I am brokenhearted over my boyfriend, and I think that I could probably get him back if I want to, but the question is, why do I want him back? It's going to be a lot of drama. I have to share him with the mother of his child because he can't seem to break up with her. He has all of the tools and the necessary knowledge to fix all of his issues in his life and get better, but he won't do it. He's proven this to me on multiple occasions, and I don't know why do men do that? I don't understand. When I got sober, I had a little talk with my sponsor, right? This was before she was my sponsor, and she told me, think about all the bad things that happened to you and all the negative things that have happened in your life, and then I want you to ask yourself how many of those things would have happened if drugs and alcohol were not involved. And the answer was, well, none. Every single aspect of my life and every negative thing that had ever happened to me up until that point had been a direct result of drugs and alcohol. So, she told me what I needed to do to get sober. I wasn't ready to do it. But when I was ready, I went to her. It took me about 3 years to actually be ready. And when I went to her, she took me and checked me into a rehab. I did 21 days. And, I've never found it necessary to drink or use again. I've eliminated drugs and alcohol from my life completely. And no, it hasn't made all my problems go away. And it hasn't made anything negative not happen. But what it did do was give me a way of life that is not negative and is not constantly bringing me down or putting me in positions of which I'm going to hurt myself or other people, or that my life falls apart. I've always been able to at least work, maintain a job, feel my feelings, cope with life, whatever. My ex-boyfriend doesn't seem to be able to do that. And he's 41 years old. And at this point, I don't think that he could ever work more than a menial minimum wage paying job, low stress, because he just can't fucking handle it. And when you tell people about it, they tell you, what the fuck do you want with a guy like this? He's a piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. And the bottom line is, yes, he has mental health issues. He does. He's an alcoholic. He suffers from depression. And he suffers from paralyzing fear that makes him incapable of moving forward for fear of losing something or something bad happening. And therefore, he just stays where he's at. So when he was with me, everything was great, right? Because he didn't really have to work. And me being who I am, I liked that. I liked him being around. People think it's retarded that you want a man that doesn't work, but I want a man that works, not a lot. I want him to be around. I want him to be with me, right? Anyways, I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, except that I want my boyfriend back. And I think that it might be selfish of me because I want him back for the things that he used to do for me, for the way that he made me feel when he was with me, but even more so because I don't want to go through the process of finding and meeting and getting to know and becoming intimate with someone else. That's my fear. That's my fear. Wow, that is my fear. That's my fear of never finding that person again. You know, every guy that I meet is, you know, that's not it. That's not the person. And I don't know. I need to move on. I need to find someone else. I need to be, you know, and I am okay by myself. Don't get me wrong. I'm fine being single. And I'm used to it again. I've been single for, you know, a better part of my life. And it's okay. I'm strong. I'm independent. I can deal. But when I had this one person, he was the one person whose crazy kind of matched my crazy. We meshed very well together. And if I take him back, I have to share him. And I have to share him with the mother of his child. And I don't know that I want to do that or that I can do that. And I also have to deal with his drama, of which he won't deal with. He just won't do it. I don't understand it. I don't know why. He has all the tools in front of him. He knows what causes his issues, and he won't do it. I mean, fuck! It's the most frustrating thing I've ever dealt with in my entire life. Alcohol. Okay, alcohol. When he drinks to blackouts. He loses everything. His IQ drops to about 2, and everything gets fucked up. Okay? It's happened 25 times. How many times does somebody have to do it before they realize that drinking causes all these problems, right? If you look at his life and you wonder how much of all this fucked up stuff that happened to you would not have happened if alcohol was not involved. I mean, even his parents were alcoholic and drinking all the time, right? So how much of that fucked up stuff as a kid would have happened to him if alcohol was not involved, right? So wouldn't you know, I mean, it's perfectly obvious to me, but it's not so obvious to him. So how do you make something more obvious? And, you know, you have no idea how many times I've, you know, thrown things out there about, okay, when you do this, this is the end result. Okay, this is what happens. Okay, this has happened 100% of the time. Okay, you've been with this chick that he's living with. He's been with her for 7 fucking years, right? 2 years of it, he was with me, right? 5 years of it, he's with her, right? He's never been happy with her. I asked him specifically, in the 5 years before you met me that you were with this bitch, okay, how often can you honestly say that you were happy being with her for longer than maybe a 2-week period of time? And the answer to him he gave me was never. Never. And I asked him, how often did you, like, go away for the weekend and hang out together? The answer was never. He'd never done that. Okay? So he's never been happy with this girl. All right? But where the fuck is he living? He's living there. Has he been sober in that house for any length of time longer than 30 days? Ever in his entire life? Right? Ever in the time that he's been with this chick, have you ever been sober in her house for longer than a 30-day period of time? The answer is never. Never! So why, in God's name, does he live there and think that he's not going to drink? That it's not going to happen all over again? That his poor son isn't going to have to see him as a drunken idiot all over again? I just don't get it. I don't understand why he can't make that connection, right? That's where he wants to be because that's where his son is. All he has to do is put his kid on a schedule, break up with the stupid mom, and get out, right? But it's too much of an ordeal. It's too much of a hassle. It's too much of a, he'd rather just stay there and be miserable and be with his kid. So anyways, that's all I got to say. I'm really talking a lot, so I'm sorry about that. I might not even upload this video, but if I do, maybe I'll touch on this again later. Bye.